Okay folks, in this video we're going to deal with inserting records into the database. I hope you've been following along. So far we've managed to build a nice form here. It has validation errors and everything. So now we are dealing with situations where everything gets filled out and we want to add a new record onto the database. So let me open up our books controller file here. And just to remind you what's happening, when we submit the form, it calls upon the submit method, and if there are no validation errors, it just echoes well done. Let me adjust the size a bit. There we go. So it's just going to echo well done. So what we want to do is actually just insert into the database table, the books database table actually. So I'll do a little comment here that says fetch the posted data. All right, now look at how easy this is. We're just going to say data is this, get data from post, and that's it. Because remember, if you followed the previous video, we did build a little method here that's going to get that posted data. So with that being the case, now we're going to insert into the books database table. And again, this can be achieved with just one line of code. I'm going to say this. Let's call upon model insert the data. There you go. So that is using the model which comes with the Trongate framework, and it's invoking the insert method. In the documentation for Trongate, you'll see a section on database interaction. And in here, there's a full explanation of the insert method. So if you want, you can read up on that and see precisely how it works. It's all there. And let's just echo record was successfully inserted. That will do us, okay? So I'm going to save that. And now it's showtime. So let's add a book. I'll just say great expectations. I'll say description. This one is a classic. The author is Charles Dickens. I'll just tick published, submit, and there you go. It says record was successfully inserted. Let me go back and we'll do another one. How about Pride and Prejudice? Another book for you is the description. The author, Jane Austen. Again, I'll say published, submit, and hallelujah, the record was successfully inserted. Now, shall we have a little look at the database to see that? Okay, so here comes phpMyAdmin. This is my database for this app, and I'm going to go and browse the books table. Here we go. And if I just zoom you in a little bit, there are our books records. You can see we've got the title, description, the author ID. It's all there. Now, let's do one more insert. And for this one, let's do to kill a mockingbird. They made us read this at school. That's my description. And the author is Harper Lee. Now for this one, I'm going to say not published. And let me just say in advance, I am expecting an error, okay? There's a deliberate mistake here. So don't panic. We are expecting an error. And here it comes. All right. So there's some kind of SQL error here and it's all a bit miserable. Let me show you why that's happening. Do you see how we've got this get data from post thing here? I'm going to just call upon JSON data and then I'm going to say comma true. Now what that does is it's going to show us what was presented, and true is going to add in a dice statement. So if we save this, and I'm going to just refresh this page, so I'm effectively resubmitting. And you can see that we have our posted data coming in, but published is an empty string. Do you see that? It's an empty string. But if we have a close look at the database table, and specifically if we look at the structure, then you'll see that published has a type of tiny integer. And I actually just want it to be a 1 or a 0. And unfortunately, an empty string is not an integer. So that's going to cause problems. Now the solution for this is really simple. What we can do is we can call upon one of PHP's functions called setType, and we can change the type to an integer. Let me show you how easy this is. SetType, we do parenthesis, and we're going to say the name of the variable, so it's setType for data published. Okay, we're going to do a comma. And now you can say int, that will work, but I'm a kind of proper guy. I'm going to say integer like that. Now let me do the JSON thing again actually. So JSON data true. And now let's have a look at what happens. We're going to refresh, so we're resubmitting. And now it's turning published into an integer. And in this case it's an empty string, so it's just going to say 0. Now if it gets ticked, by the way, that'll be fine. Crack open the champagne, because it will be a 1 still. So this is all we need. It's gonna be perfect. So let's now have that added on. Okay, we're gonna save. And now let's just refresh again. There we go, record was successfully inserted. And if we have a look at the table here, there are our 3 records.